or visit a Spectrum store today.
Even the mighty might not see it coming. It's prediabetes, and it captures 1 in 3 adults. But you can escape. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test to know where you stand and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Be your own hero on smartphones everywhere at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Spectrum News Plus. Local stories, connecting communities. Streaming now on the Spectrum News app and free with your Spectrum subscription.
I'm Sharon Tazwell. Here's your Spectrum News in 90. Members of Congress pushing for answers after a Signal group chat by top security officials mistakenly added a journalist. This as a federal judge is ordering the administration to preserve the messages sent on the app. Democrats continue to criticize what they call a careless act. The administration says Elon Musk and his Doge team are looking into how the reporter was added to the chat.
We have never denied that this was a mistake, and the National Security Advisor took responsibility for that, and we have said we are making changes.
Global automakers are sounding the alarm ahead of new tariffs imposed by President Trump on imported vehicles. European officials warn the impact will be disruptive, adding American car shoppers may be worse off. Trump says the tariffs are aimed at boosting U.S. jobs and tax revenues. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services is planning to cut 10,000 full-time employees across health agencies. It is the latest move by the Trump administration to shrink the federal government. HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. says the goal is to save taxpayer money and improve quality of service.
We're going to eliminate an entire alphabet soup of departments and agencies while preserving their core functions by merging them into a new organization.
And that's your Spectrum News in 90.
I'm meteorologist Nate Harrington. As we look at the big picture on Thursday, showers and storms down in the south of Texas leading to some flooding and heavy rainfall and storms in the Midwest, interrupting some MLB opening day festivities. Over the next 48 to 72 hours, though, busy weather to end March. Severe storms, areas of heavy rain and some snow, too. All the while, the cherry blossoms are reaching peak bloom. We'll talk about all of that in the forecast coming up.
Developing this evening, a federal judge Thursday is ordering key Trump administration agencies to preserve messages sent on Signal during March 11th and the 15th. The ruling is in response to a preservation lawsuit brought following the revelation that cabinet officials were discussing attack plans on the app. Thanks for joining us. I'm Sharon Tazwell. The administration is facing growing calls from Congress to investigate after a journalist was added to the chat. Our national political reporter Taylor Popolars has the latest from the White House.
Some members of Congress want answers about the now infamous Signal group chat by top national security officials that mistakenly included a journalist. The officials discussed an imminent attack on rebels in Yemen. Spectrum News on Thursday obtained a letter the top Republican and Democrat on the Senate Armed Services Committee sent to the Defense Department's Inspector General. They ask for an investigation into the facts and circumstances surrounding the incident, the Defense Department's rules related to sharing sensitive and classified information on non-government networks, and an assessment of whether any individuals transferred classified information, including operational details.
It was sensitive information, not classified, and inadvertently released. And what we should be talking about is it was a very successful mission.
But Attorney General Pam Bondi on Thursday brushed off questions about the incident. Her comments indicated the Justice Department likely will not investigate as is customary. The White House has said the National Security Council, the White House Counsel's Office, and Elon Musk's Doge team are looking into only the narrow issue of how Jeffrey Goldberg mistakenly got added to the chat that was organized by National Security Advisor Mike Waltz. The president on Wednesday branded this a witch hunt, and his press secretary Caroline Leavitt called it a hoax, but she also said this on Thursday.
Well, we have never denied that this was a mistake, and the National Security Advisor took responsibility for that, and we have said we are making changes. We are looking into the matter to ensure it can never happen again. Larry
Pfeiffer is a former senior CIA official who once served as senior director of the White House Situation Room.
So in my 32-year career, my 40-plus years involved in national security, something with this level of detail would definitely have been classified, if not secret, possibly even up to top secret.
He says a thorough investigation likely would lead to resignations, but probably not criminal charges.
The investigation should not be being led by any of the people that are actually on that call. That immediately invites some suspicion and bias as to what the results might be.
President Trump is so far standing by his national security advisor who created the chat and his defense secretary who shared military plans with the group. Reporting at the White House, Taylor Popolars, Spectrum News.
New cuts to the federal workforce as the Department of Health and Human Services is planning to lay off 10,000 full-time employees. Spectrum's Reuben Jones has more from Washington.
I want to promise you now that we're going to do more with less.
A massive restructuring of the Department of Health and Human Services will leave the agency responsible for public health and programs like Medicaid and Medicare with significantly fewer resources. Thursday, HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. announced a slew of cuts, including the layoff of 10,000 workers, saving $1.8 billion, resulting in a total reduction in the HHS workforce by a quarter, from 82,000 to 62,000 employees. And the department's 28 divisions will be consolidated to 15. The number of HHS regional offices will be cut in half to 5.
HHS is a sprawling bureaucracy that encompasses literally hundreds of departments, committees, and other offices.
As part of the reduction, the National Institutes of Health will lose 1,200 employees, and 300 employees will be cut from the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. But HHS says the reorganization won't affect services provided by Medicare or Medicaid. And the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention will lose 2,400 employees.
I think it is a short-term economic fix for something that may not have needed this level of fix, and I think it will have long-term implications.
Kennedy framed the quotes as part of his plan to, quote, make America healthy again. Some medical experts worry it will have the reverse effect. This restructuring is in addition to the Trump administration's announcement this week that it is pulling back nearly $12 billion in funding to state and local health departments and other health organizations. That cutback will affect a range of services, from disease surveillance to treatment of substance use disorders. In Washington, Reuben Jones, Spectrum News.
President Trump is moving forward with plans to place 25% tariffs on auto imports. The White House says the move aims to increase domestic manufacturing, but will it work? Well, joining us with more is Brian Moody, an executive editor for Auto Trader. Brian, Auto Trader specializes in offering an online marketplace for buying and selling new and also used vehicles. Now, that includes vehicles not made in the U.S. How could these tariffs impact the price of vehicles new and used?
Right. So if these tariffs go through, it would impact nearly every model and every automaker currently, selling cars in the U.S. It's not only about manufacturing cars in the U.S., it's about the parts content and where those come from. Also, automakers may want to minimize the price impacts to consumers by spreading out those prices amongst multiple vehicles or vehicle lines. So it's not only about where it's made. However, that being said, I think people will be surprised at how many supposedly import brands actually build their cars here in the U.S.
Interesting. All right. So, Brian, you say used cars follow the price of new cars. Is there something consumers can do to protect themselves from these rising car prices?
Yes, so that's a fair statement that used car prices tend to follow new car prices. And with new cars, it's going to vary based on inventory, based on when they implement these things. Those things are all going to vary. However, I wouldn't make a large purchase decision, a new car purchase decision, based only on headlines, because as we've seen, this changes rapidly. On the other hand, anyone shopping for a used car, you might want to speed that process up just a little bit because new car prices are going to do what they're going to do. However, used car prices, we're already seeing a drop in inventory, which means low supply. And if there's high demand, prices are going to go up even more. There was a lack of new cars a few years ago because of COVID. That's working out to a lack of used cars today. Those prices were always going to go up. This tariffs talk doesn't help used car prices at all because more people are probably looking that way.
Yeah, very good insight there. Brian Moody from Auto Trader, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.
Trump's tariffs, why the proposed tariffs on Canadian lumber could be detrimental to survivors of the California wildfires. That's coming up right here on Spectrum News. And as we head to break, here's a look at closing numbers on Wall Street with all three major stock indexes ending on a low.
We said we'd never break the 3-second rule. Never do that. And never become a minivan mom.
Hey, Chris.
As parents, we say never a lot, but never happens. So when you say you'd never leave your child in a hot car, know it can happen. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock.
I really am in the middle of nowhere. Every day is different. Chores, come on, homeschooling, and then I fit in the rug business. I just got a new batch of rugs that I'd love to show you. I have a website, and a lot of what I do is sharing my home life. Mommy's leaving. Reliable, high-speed internet is the foundation of our business. Spectrum was great. They went out of their way to make sure that I was okay and I was taken care of. Shoo! And that's the awesomeness of having Spectrum.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. 2 milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable. The sad reality is, fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kitchen now.
You're not gonna get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff.
Mama!
Like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
Weather on the ones. This time of year can always yield a mixed bag of weather. That's what we've seen so far this week, talking about areas of severe weather chances in the Pacific Northwest. Abnormally warm numbers this week too, and Thursday was no exception. Temperatures warmer in Denver than in places like Atlanta. 77 on Thursday in Atlanta, 80 in Denver, Colorado, 79 in Kansas City. Folks in St. Louis saw temperatures milder than average, but they had to deal, unfortunately, with some rain that put a damper on some of the MLB opening day festivities. And unfortunately, more active weather is ahead for Friday and the weekend. More rain, more storms in Texas, more showers and storms by Friday morning and early afternoon in the Ohio Valley. And we will see another shot at strong and severe storms in the upper Midwest and also the southern states on Friday. Thankfully, a low-end risk of severe weather. Can't say the same as we head into the weekend. More on that in a second. So, severe weather outlook on Friday for the UP of Michigan through northern Wisconsin, Minnesota, Iowa, and Nebraska. You go down into the Gulf Coast of Texas and Louisiana and find level 1 out of 5 risks for stronger storms. Now, a little bit better risk for some flash flooding in those same areas in southern Texas along the Louisiana Gulf Coast. A level 2 out of 4 risk for flash flooding in those spots on Friday. Then you go up into the upper Midwest, the Great Lakes states in the north and east, and you find winter weather alerts. We're not done with winter just yet, and even some ice storm warnings for portions of the UP of Michigan. So a lot going on with a very dynamic storm system and set of storm systems that will be moving through for the weekend as well. Very warm temperatures in the midsection of the country. 75 Minneapolis, 77 Kansas City, about as warm as it is in St. Louis as it will be in Florida on Friday. We talk more storms over the weekend and the cherry blossoms too. 10 minutes.
If you're just joining us, here's what you need to know. The Department of Health and Human Services will lay off 10,000 workers and shut down entire agencies, including addiction services and community health centers across the country. The White House has pulled Representative Elise Stefanik's nomination for U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations. President Trump cited House Republicans' razor-thin majority as a reason for his decision. And a measles outbreak in Kansas has more than doubled to 23 cases. Health officials recommend infants 6 to 11 months old to be vaccinated early if they live in or near the outbreak areas. And that's what you need to know. President Trump is threatening tariffs on Canadian lumber, but experts warn the new tariffs could hamper the reconstruction of thousands of California homes destroyed by wildfires. Spectrum's Ariel Wessler reports.
We're not going to bend.
Amid tariff threats from President Donald Trump, thousands of Southern California wildfire victims wonder what such measures could mean to their rebuilding efforts after the Palisades and Eaton fires.
Lumber obviously is a big expense of building a home. It's about 10 to 20% of the overall cost of a house.
Last year, the U.S. sourced nearly 25% of softwood lumber from Canada, a material critical to home construction.
Most of what you see is a softwood lumber.
Right now, cleanup is the main focus for thousands who lost their homes in these wildfires, but rebuilding will come next. The National Association of Home Builders warns that tariffs on lumber and other goods could raise the cost of building a single-family home by as much as $10,000. But Trump says America can do without Canadian lumber.
We don't need their lumber.
Economists say he's technically right. The U.S. has roughly 300 billion trees, but it's not that simple.
It takes years to build the supply chain. You need more sawmills. You can't build sawmills tomorrow.
And that investment could cost up to $400 million. For lumber suppliers in Los Angeles, it's not so much the possible tariffs that are a concern, but more so the scale in demand created by the historic wildfires.
Someone like me who sources most of our Doug fir that is cut down in the United States, eventually that demand's going to push it to where wholesalers will have to start sourcing from Canada. So I do think it will have an effect on all lumber pricing.
Ariel Wessler, Spectrum News.
The FAA is acknowledging it must do better after a recent deadly air collision in Washington, D.C. between an American Airlines jet and Army Black Hawk helicopter. 67 people were killed. During the hearing Thursday, the head of the National Transportation Safety Board and members of Congress questioned how the alarming number of close calls had not been addressed before the January collision.
We determined that the separation distances between helicopter traffic operating on Route 4 and aircraft using runways 15 and 33 are insufficient and pose an intolerable risk to aviation safety.
The head of the Federal Aviation Administration is vowing to create a safety risk management panel to identify additional hazard areas involving helicopters and planes. At least 6 people are dead after a tourist submarine sank in the Red Sea off Egypt's coast. 45 tourists, mainly Russians, were on the underwater reef cruise. Now, the cause of the sinking is unknown. 29 others were rescued. King Charles has canceled his public engagements for the week due to side effects from his ongoing cancer treatment. Buckingham Palace says the symptoms required a short period of observation in the hospital, but the king has now returned to Clarence House, where he is continuing to work. The king announced his cancer diagnosis in February of 2024.
I'm Chris Welch with a cinnamon bun egg roll at Citi Field, home of the New York Mets. Coming up, we're going to take you out to the ball game to show you what ballparks around the country are doing to up their food game, hoping it's a home run with fans.
For the millions of school-aged children across the country, the state of their schools can have a lasting impact on their health and well-being.
The majority of school districts aren't doing comprehensive regular water quality testing.
As CO2 levels rise in a space, cognitive function takes a direct decline.
We visit 2 school districts working to create safe and healthy environments for their students.
Watch Exploring Your Health, Curing Our Classrooms, available on the Spectrum News app.
Starting a business is hard. You have to stay connected at all times.
As we've been growing the studio, Spectrum's been there every step of the way. I'm always able to make the phone call that I need. I'm able to shoot that text message or that email. Every vital piece of equipment that we have here uses Spectrum.
Fast, reliable internet, starting at $40 a month, backed by the Spectrum commitment to keep your business connected.
I tell my son, I love you every single day. Now, my dad has never said that to me. Not because he doesn't love me, but because culturally it wasn't comfortable for him. Now that he's a grandfather, he says, I love you to my son every time he sees him. My advice to all the fathers out there, forget the cultural restrictions. They grow up way too fast for you to waste even a single precious moment.
Food isn't just fuel to live, it's fuel to grow. My family relied on public assistance to help provide meals for us. These meals fueled my involvement in theater and the arts as a child, which fostered my love for acting. The Feeding America network of food banks helps millions of people put food on the table. When people are fed, futures are nourished. Join the movement to end hunger, and together we can open endless possibilities for people to thrive. Visit feedingamerica.org/actnow.
It's your weather on the ones. It is peak cherry blossom season in our nation's capital. Video from Washington, D.C. Now, there are a lot of different cherry blossom spots to check out across our country. Washington, D.C., though, known this time of year for the beautiful cherry blossoms. If you've never checked it out, please make some plans to do so soon. It's awesome, awesome to see. Peak bloom, the 28th through the 31st as we round out the month. Weather looks pretty good. Friday, a cooler day, but Saturday and Sunday, both days with temperatures in the upper 70s and low 80s. Then showers and storms move in, and it does look like most of those blossoms will be either past peak or fall off the tree with some of the storms that are expected on Monday and the possibility of some stronger storms too. So Saturday, Sunday, Monday, very active times for the weekend ahead, and as we start next week on Monday. Showers and storms in the Midwest, and even a little bit of snowfall that we mentioned earlier. Winter weather's not done either, especially in the Intermountain West and the Rockies and the upper Midwest. But storm chances will continue to push to the east on Sunday and then across the East Coast on Monday. The severe weather situation looks pretty limited on Saturday to a very small sliver of northern Oklahoma, Kansas, eastern Kansas, and into western Missouri. Kansas City and Tulsa included in a level 2 risk of severe storms. Then you get into Sunday. Now, we haven't put a number designation on this just yet, but a big chunk of real estate included in the severe weather outlook from the Ohio River Valley all the way down to the Gulf Coast from Sunday afternoon through the evening hours. Monday, it shifts over to the Gulf Coast of Florida, Louisiana, Alabama, and Mississippi, through the Carolinas, Georgia, into Virginia, and all the way far north as the Delmarva Peninsula and New Jersey with a severe weather risk. So we'll fine-tune it, tell you where the hot spots unfortunately would be as we get a little bit closer to the weekend. Saturday, very warm temperatures. The southern plains and into the Midwest, numbers well above average. We're also going to see some cooler than average numbers in some spots in the upper Midwest with some of that winter weather moving in ahead of the frontal system. Very warm temperatures Saturday and very warm temperatures on Sunday. Numbers in the low to mid 80s in New Orleans, Orlando, places like Raleigh and Atlanta seeing temperatures above average, but cooler than average air taking over across the western U.S.
Well, it's open opening day for a new season of baseball. 30 teams in Major League Baseball begin their quest to win the World Series. There'll be 14 different games taking place all over the U.S. Thursday. Now, the first official game of the season started with a matchup between the New York Yankees and Milwaukee Brewers. Along with action on the field, a big attraction at ballparks is the food. Spectrum's Chris Welch got an inside look at some new items coming to menus. The stadium's hope will be a home run.
The excitement inside Citi Field this week had nothing to do with the game itself and everything to do with food. This is insane.
Insane.
Oh gosh, yeah. Yes. This is amazing. In case this embarrassing footage didn't give it away, this is my kind of baseball assignment. But when a stadium gets the distinction of best ballpark food in the country, according to USA Today, now 3 years in a row, a reporter has a duty to find out why.
The guys on the field take what they do seriously. We are just as serious in the stands. So.
Among the new items, a curried chicken patty from Top Chef star Chef Kwame's Patty Palace. And from the chef behind last year's viral rainbow cookie egg roll. Chicken parm with vodka sauce egg roll. We've got a chicken bacon ranch egg roll and a cinnamon bun egg roll that will be running all season long. But Mets fans are, of course, not the only ones to score with new menu items. At Dodger Stadium, no plans to change up the classic.
If you go to a Dodger game and don't grab a hot dog, did you really go to a Dodger game?
Dodger dogs are back, of course, but new this year, the home run platter, chicken teriyaki skewer, vegetable egg rolls, pot stickers, and vegetable tempura. The newly renamed Daikin Park, home of the Houston Astros, hoping their new chicken waffle sandwich is out of this world.
Any new items that we bring in is something that's going to sell, something that's trendy, maybe?
Nothing says trendy like crumble cookies, which makes its first foray into a ballpark this season at the St. Louis Cardinals Busch Stadium. Milwaukee is brewing up something new, the Chicken Cordon Brew. It's fried chicken breast, shaved ham, Swiss cheese, beer butter onions, and brown mustard on a potato bun. And since KC is known for barbecue, Joe's Barbecue is up to bat with their famous Z-Man sandwich making its debut. It's beef brisket, smoked provolone, topped with 2 crispy onion rings on a toasted Kaiser roll.
You're giving people something that they don't expect. Like my father-in-law comes to a game and he's like, it's not just hot dogs anymore. And
nope,
there's nothing
it's
wrong.
Definitely not. And fun fact, according to the National Hot Dog and Sausage Council, yes, that is a real thing. Sharon, there are roughly 20 million hot dogs consumed at MLB stadiums every season. That averages about 8,000 each game.
Oh my goodness. All right, so Chris, what are we seeing in terms of ballpark trends this year when it comes to food?
Well, we're seeing a lot of Asian-inspired foods. You saw the egg rolls have been a big thing the last couple of years. We saw the tempura fried at the Dodgers Stadium. But there are also stadiums that are offering now a lot of gluten-free and a lot of vegan options. Yeah. One of the new options at Citi Field is a barbecued jackfruit. So there's a lot of options for everyone these days.
Okay, well, speaking of Citi Field, I want to try that curried chicken patty. That sounds really good.
Very good. Yeah. The cinnamon bun egg roll.
That was your favorite?
I had a few. I'm not going to lie, Sharon.
Okay.
They were all pretty good. The cinnamon bun egg roll. Yeah. I also want to try what he was talking about at the games. They're going to have a chicken parm with vodka sauce egg roll. You also saw the tomahawks in the video. They were slicing off that. Ooh, that might have took the cake for me.
I might just go for the food. Nothing wrong with the classics,
I don't think there's anything wrong with going just for the food.
Exactly. All right. A good hot dog doesn't hurt either. All right. Chris Welch, fun story.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Sharon.
I'm Sharon Tazwell. Thanks for watching. Our Spectrum News in 90s coming up right after this short break. Stay with us.
Friday nights, The Big Deal with Errol Lewis, where Spectrum News' local political journalists break down the most important issues shaping our nation.
Our journey towards improving mental health doesn't always present a clear path. Every Thursday on Your Mental Health, we listen to voices across our communities, discussing the challenges of everyday life and presenting accessible resources to guide us along the path to our well-being, providing hope and empowering choices that light the way to a healthier you.
Your Mental Health with Dr. Nicole Clark, Thursdays on Spectrum News Plus, available on all your favorite devices.
It's game time at the arena, and 20,000 fans are looking for a win. With an ultra-high-speed network and seamless Wi-Fi, fans can get in the door fast and share the game's best moments in real time. And with Spectrum Business committed to keeping them connected 100% of the time, they won't miss a second of the action. A secure, reliable connection from Spectrum Business means the fan experience is a guaranteed win.
Whether it's our stories, the warmth of our laugh, or our family's secret sauce, we all bring something different to the table. So make some space. The power of connection is waiting right outside your comfort zone. Learn how you can help strengthen your community at belongingbeginswithus.org/teamup.
Weather can be beautiful, inconvenient, and at times powerful. And it affects everything we do. At Spectrum News Plus, our weather experts update you with the information and the context you need so you can better plan your day. And we do it every 10 minutes. We're the calm in the storm. Weather on the Ones on Spectrum News Plus, exclusively on Spectrum. And get your weather anytime on the Spectrum News app. Spectrum News Plus, local stories, connecting communities. Streaming